Hey Xavier, how are you?
Hey, what's going on, man?
All right, let's get started. So, what's your origin story and what originally got you into fighting?
So pretty much I grew up wrestling when I was a kid. Like my dad wrestled in high school. I found that out, so I started wrestling as a kid. And then, wrestling, you only have like two paths. Take these glasses off real quick. Um, you got like two paths. You either go to college and wrestle or usually go into MMA. So obviously,
Hmm.
going into MMA was just seemed like a more logical step for me, just with the way I was going, just because at the time I didn't plan on going to college at that time, like immediately. So, but what really got me into like actual MMA was just watching UFC fights with my dad. We were watching, pretty sure it was a Donald Cerrone fight. I don't actually remember the actual fight, but watching him fight and like I was watching him, like the way they were like just watching him, and I'm no offense to him, but I was like, those guys look like skinny like me. Like he didn't look
Hmm.
that big. So I was
Hmm.
like they don't look that big and they're fighting. Usually I think an MMA fighter is like, big dude. So I'm like, I could probably do that.
Hmm.
Like if I just learned some how to strike and stuff like that. So eventually I ended up joining the Marine Corps at some point, and joining the Marine Corps is what gave me the opportunity to start fighting because
Hmm.
I just got lucky where I got stationed, and there was a team there
Hmm.
run by retired Sergeant Major Mark Galecko. Shout out to him. He started a team out there. Oh shit! He started a team out there for the help with like people when they're coming back from deployments. Give them something to outlet, give them the
Hmm.
outlet they would need, like when they come back from deployments. So eventually, he just stayed doing that while he was there, and he's just still running a team now. The team got rebranded to St. Martha Athletic Club, but that's where it all started. It started with him at that in a little old town of 29 Palms. So that's
Hmm.
where everything started.
Are there any values that you got from the Marine Corps that you can apply into fighting?
Uh, I mean, not to get all like super motivated about it, but obviously when when they view Marines, they think of us as like warriors, like warriors on the battlefield. Not all of us do that stuff, but like they teach everything that they teach you applies as if you are going to be doing that kind of stuff. So just like kind of just being around all these people where they have like a fighter mentalities, like some of the people do. Like
Hmm.
just people are just tend to be more like aggressive. I mean, when people think of Marines, they think of like war fighters usually. It's like with the
Hmm.
commercials. So you got like people that come in thinking of like that kind of stuff. So you're like growing up around that stuff, how to be like how to be that fighter, how to bring that fighter out of you, and
Yeah.
then but also being like honorable and courage, like having courage and stuff, like
Hmm.
and like what those mean, like it's not always like being courage isn't always like beating up everything. Like sometimes it's just knowing when not to do stuff or doing the right thing, that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
it gives you like if you didn't
Discipline.
have values, it gives you like some base discipline that can like carry over to multiple different things in your life if you wish to apply them,
Hmm.
kind of things.
You're a pretty well-rounded fighter and you have a wrestling base, but which style do you like more? Do you like the stand-up or do you like the ground game better?
As I started, I obviously like wrestling was like just my bread and butter. That's what I like doing, and that's where I felt more at home. But as I learned Muay Thai and boxing, and like get my hands and felt more comfortable in my hands, I really love to stand. Like it's fun. I feel like with my attributes, like I make it work for me. Like I'm not out here saying I'm like a Floyd Mayweather level boxer, obviously, but or Israel Adesanya striker. But like I feel like with the way I move and the way I do stuff works for me with the body that I got.
Hmm.
So and also, so I got to make a shout out, obviously, to my current team that I train with now. Coastal Combat has really been redefining my striking as it is right now.
Hmm.
So I'm doing a lot better. Like the original gym gave me the fundamentals that I had, and then this gym, like they're like picking at those little things. That's going to be the difference between me being a really good amateur and a really good professional. So
Yeah.
we're just working on little small things. So get me ready for the next level. So shout out to Jake Hesselgrave and Jordan Herring, my two coaches, and then Josh Wayne Kim and Bill Wilson and John Wayne Kim for helping me build those abilities that I can't wait to display in this next fight.
Hmm. Yeah, I've seen some of your fights, and you have high pressure striking. Like, what can you attribute that to? When did you start like going with that high pressure, walking forward in your face style?
Well, so it's more of like just kind of like the fighter in me. That was like my old style. That was like my style, like when I was training at the other gym, because I just I like fighting like that. Like,
Hmm.
hey, Tony Ferguson was my
Oh yeah.
like an idol, idol to like my more recent style
Hmm.
of fighting. So like how he fights is kind of like I like the pressure that he put on people. So I like
Hmm.
pressure fighters. Also, that can also kind of it's kind of a nerdy thing, but this can like attribute to Street Fighter. I grew up as a kid playing Street Fighter. This is
Hmm.
also something that got me into fighting too. It's like a little small thing. Um, and like when you play as like Ken, one of the characters in the game, like you want to play like a pressure based style. So you want to be like on your opponent, constantly attacking them. Don't give your opponent a time to breathe so they can like counter you and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
I always picked them, and that's how he always fought, and that's how I always fought with them. So I like
Hmm.
kind of brought that over to real life kind of.
Yeah.
But
Saying
I
what
also
you,
attribute
oh,
Oh, sorry.
well,
But I also attribute that to, I mean, being in the Marine Corps has given me like the ability to like train often and stay physically fit all the time. Like I'm always ready. I'm always training. I'm always doing something physical every day. Like I don't go a day without doing something just because
mhm.
I like it's part of work. Like I have to.
Yeah, you're
Part of
always
my
in shape.
job is staying in shape. So like I just will always feel like I'm in better shape than most people can be just because I mean not everybody's afforded the luxury to be able to just work out every day. Like, they have bills and jobs and gym memberships are expensive. I don't have to pay for that kind of stuff. So
Hmm.
like I get that opportunity with the stuff that I have to do for work. So I feel like that plays a big role in it too. I'm always doing something. So like I can use that energy
Hmm.
when I have it and when I need to.
Yeah. Saying what you can, what's your game plan for your next fight?
Hmm. Man, I don't want to give too much, too much spoilers away. I go in there like I do every fight. Like my game plan is just to have fun and do my
Hmm.
thing. Like I don't care what he's gonna do, what he's doing, what he's training to do. It doesn't matter to me because I can't control any of that. He's
Hmm.
gonna do what he's gonna do. So the only thing I can do is do what I'm gonna do, and then adjust based on what he's doing. Obviously, if whatever I'm doing working is working, then it's gonna work.
Hmm.
But I'm just gonna go out there and have fun. That's what I do.
Yeah.
That's my thing. If it's
Do
fun for
you,
me, like, fight. If when fighting is fun, when I'm having fun, I'm just like in a flow state and I'm just doing my thing. Everything just blends together. It just goes together. It just works. It's like
mhm.
doesn't matter what he's doing. I'm still gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Do you usually watch a lot of film?
Um. Oh, my opponents? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I obsess over my opponents when I get
that's
when I
great.
get them.
Hmm.
I I stalk you. I'm sorry, but you give me if there's anything that I can look at that you've put out, like then you know like we don't have control of like who posts our videos. Like if the organization wants to post a fight video, they're gonna
Hmm.
post that shit. So, and I don't look at it as like definitive gospel. Like this is how he's gonna fight. Obviously, we all have habits. Like we all have things that we do, and there's things that you're gonna do like subconsciously that you aren't aware of.
Hmm.
That like if somebody's watching you multiple times, they'll notice that little small thing. Like oh, his hand doesn't go back here. Or his
Hmm.
fucking he crosses his feet when he does this, and like you be like oh I saw it, and then you just keep waiting for those reads, and then you can apply
Yeah.
those. But like I'll study everything. Like your social media is open. If you were having a bad day that week, I'll be like, damn, okay, he's having a bad day.
Hmm.
Fight week. That's good. That's good for me. He's not going to be there all the way. Like those kind of things. Like that psychological like warfare. Like um, the psychological warfare is a big thing that I like to look into. So I think it
Hmm.
plays a huge part.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so we got a question from the chat from Calvin. What's your biggest support system when you're down?
Like when I'm like sad. Like
I guess so.
okay. Well, obviously, like I'm in the service. So I got a bunch of I got my homies, my boys, guys that I go like I'm always working with. They're always around. Like those guys, like obviously we all make fun of each other and shit on each other, but
Hmm.
that's just how it is. But like, if I need anything from those guys, like the guys that I work with now, especially with the field that I'm in, being EOD technician, like explosive ordnance disposal,
Hmm.
like it's a very tight knit group of people because it's a smaller MOS. There's only like a few amount of people in it. The people I work with, I'm super close with because like we're always around, we're always doing stuff. Like just like I like all those guys. Even the people I don't like, I still like.
Hmm.
Like it's a different like kind of thing. Like there's people like I feel like regular people work with people and like they don't like people. Like they actually don't like them. Like yeah, there's some people I don't like at work, but like I'll do anything for them. That's just
Hmm.
how it is. And those
Yeah.
guys, they'll do anything for me. They support me, which I very much appreciate those kind of guys when they actually support me. Because yeah, as an up and coming fighter, like especially doing this for free, like I need all the eyes on me I can get. So
Hmm.
you like support me, post me, share me, get me out there. That's how I can like start exposing my brand. Because I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like the fighter is like the product. Like I'm a product of myself. I'm like my own business. So you
Hmm.
gotta manage that kind of stuff. But those kind of guys, they like help out with that kind of stuff, and like I appreciate all of them.
Yeah, it's good that you have that brotherhood. Where do you see your
And then,
career within the next? Oh, sorry, what would you say?
no, no, it's not. No, I was about to start rambling. You gotta stop me if I start rambling. No, I don't
No, it's
shut up.
actually it's good. You're giving me a lot of conversation. So where do you
But
see your career within the next couple of years?
yeah, well, after this fight, when I obviously win and uh, claim the state title and defend my belt, we'll sit down with my coaches and we'll brainstorm, see what's the next move. I see pro being on the horizon. I do have a lot of fights. This is fight number 14 in just MMA. So, I mean, I'm getting to that point where it's harder to get fights because all the old people already moved on. And I'm an older guy. Like I started in a couple of years. I started fighting in 2016 or yeah 2017, and it's 2022 now. And like a lot of people that I was fighting with, they're already pros now. So
Hmm.
like it's gonna be harder and harder to get fights. So pro is definitely on the horizon. I don't know for who yet. We'll see. Like I said, we got to brainstorm. I got a good team with Jake and Jordan, so I trust them. So whatever decisions they make for me, like
Hmm.
I will back them and support them and go along with what they do. I believe they have the very most good intentions with me,
Hmm.
so I know that they'll put me on the right path that I need to go. But we'll see if we can get like as many professional fights as we can while I'm still in California. You know, so I always try to get on one of the the Dana White Contender
Hmm.
Series, or I don't really mind UFC, Bellator, ONE FC, any of them really. Honestly, as long as I can say that I fought at that level on that stage, that's all that matters to me. That's the goal, is just to get to that stage.
Hmm.
And I think I'm fully capable of doing that with the people I have and the people I have access to.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing to do outside of fighting?
Outside of fighting, I'm a very simple person. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not like some like extravagant dude. Like outside of working and fighting, honestly, with the way my lifestyle is right now, that's really all I have time for. But I guess if there's something I do on the side, I mean, if it's not going out with my friends, obviously hanging out with them, going out and whether it's partying or just going out drinking or going out just to hang out, like with those things, like like, I'll be down to like just chill, play a video game, go on a hike. Like I'm very simple. Like I'm
Hmm.
simple. I'm a simple dude, so I'm not that complex. Very little. Like I need very little to make me happy. So
That's good. All right, another chat from the question. I mean, another question from the chat. What music genre do you listen to when you're training slash working out?
what music do I listen to? I'm always listening to like reggaeton or like Bad Bunny, like that kind of music, just because like the beats, the music, like just not necessarily the lyrics, because I don't speak the language obviously, but I like the beat. It
Yeah, I like that.
gives you like a rhythm, gives me
Hmm.
a rhythm to like vibe to when I'm moving around, and like allows me to like just like move more loosely than I would if I wasn't listening to music.
Hmm.
And
So
plus,
do
it's
you
like
always train with music?
uh, yeah, we usually have music on in the gym. It's not always that music, but like if I get to pick the music, I will always suggest like Bad Bunny or similar artists. But As long as there's like some kind of music like on in the background, it's nice because it like breaks that monotony of the silence. Because then you're just kind of like hearing everything, and like the music kind of like distracts me from what everybody else is doing, and I kind of just focus on myself and get in my little world where it's just me focus on what I'm doing.
Hmm. Who's your favorite UFC fighter?
Favorite UFC fighter? Um, I have a couple guys that like I like look up to and like either want to like emulate some parts of their game or they're just like we're so fun and entertaining to watch. So obviously it's like my first original fighter that like got me into everything was John Jones. Obviously he's had problems and hasn't fought in a long ass time, so
Hmm.
I had to find somebody else to watch because he's not fighting. I'm not watching anything. I still watch his old fights just to like look at stuff because obviously he's like a technical genius when he's fighting. But also my favorite fighter, like probably active, especially when he had his run. He's been on a like going through it right now, but I think he can. If he just sets down, he can come back. And Tony Ferguson, like El
Yeah.
Kukui, that's my guy right there. That's my favorite fighter. When he was going on that run, like
Yeah, I love Tony. I love Tony
hey,
so much.
he's a he was a monster. He was just violent. That's where that like pushing forward style kind of came from. Is like he just violent. He didn't give a fuck. He just pressed forward. It's like I'm coming at you, throwing everything I got at you. I don't care. He doesn't get tired, so it didn't matter. Like most people, like they'll stop advancing because like they're afraid to waste energy and get tired.
Hmm.
So once you get tired, you become a coward. And once you
Yeah,
become a coward, you start making mistakes and losing. You know, fatigue makes cowards of us all. So like when people do have that ability to not get tired, then those are scary people.
exactly.
Cause like
Yeah, he's the boogeyman. He's right in your face, just punching you. Combinations from left, right, the middle. He'll hit you from anywhere with anything. I love his style.
yeah. And then for a more technical standpoint, right now I'd say Israel fights next week, doesn't he? So
Hmm.
Adesanya. Just watching him when he was coming up, especially when he was coming up, like before he got the title, and when he defended it against Paulo Costa, like that run he had, it was good.
Hmm.
Obviously, he slowed down, but like he's fighting good people, so you can't even like hold him to anything because
Yeah.
like he's fighting good dudes. Like when you get two good people in there, they start canceling out stuff, and then like you don't run through people like that as easy as you would think they should. But everybody he's fighting now is good because he's the champion, so he's fighting the number one dudes every
Hmm.
time. It's not like when he was coming up and he was fighting unranks and lower ranked people. So,
Hmm. Do you
but still,
have
him
him in
he's
that
very
next fight?
technical. Hmm?
Do you have him in that next fight against Alex Pereira?
I do. People always like look at the obviously the knockout that he had because he got knocked out, but like
Hmm. Winning the fight
uh
before that?
he was winning the fight. Like
Hmm.
sometimes you just get caught.
Hmm.
And obviously this is a different like playing field, and there's like these are different gloves now, smaller gloves. Your hands are gonna move a little bit faster, but so are his. Like
Hmm.
people said that he didn't have knockout power, and he knocked out Paulo Costa. I didn't think he was going to do that to Paulo Costa or Robert Whitaker. He did that
Oh
to
yeah,
both
that
of
was
those
impressive
dudes,
against Robert
and those are
Whitaker.
tough dudes. Like who's out here dropping Paulo Costa and Robert Whitaker like that now? Besides him, nobody
Hmm.
else. So you can't really like. I know that stuff happened years ago before he was in the UFC, but you can't really like hold him to those kind of losses. Like obviously he's evolving. Everybody's evolving every day we train. Obviously Alex is evolving too. So we'll see. I'm actually excited for that fight. I was kind of hoping that Alex was gonna beat Sean Strickland, so that would have happened
That was
because I felt like he
impressive.
would.
I didn't expect him to knock him out like that in the first round.
I kind of did just because I feel like Sean is like that guy, the kind of guy who would like try to stand
Hmm.
and make a point against a world level kickboxer like that,
Hmm.
just like to show that there's levels. And like I mean, sometimes there's levels and sometimes there's not. Again, this is like not even down talking any of these guys. Like everybody I'm talking about is I want to be these guys in the next couple of years. I want to be in
Hmm.
their position. So but obviously in fighting there's a winner and there's a loser. So
Hmm.
this is part of the game. Like you're on one side or the other. But yeah, I think Israel. I don't know how. For some reason, I feel like I don't know. Not to take any away from the striking part of it, but I feel like maybe he might go for a submission or something.
Hmm. Turn
He
into
has been
Habib.
working. He has been working his jiu-jitsu, so I mean, why not? And it's MMA. I mean, you might as well use all the tools allotted to you. Have we
Hmm.
seen Alex Pereira on the ground? Obviously, he trains with Glover Teixeira, who's like good at jiu-jitsu, so obviously he has a good training partner. But training is one thing, and actually doing stuff in the fight is another thing. So,
Hmm.
especially if you aren't doing it all the time. So, we'll see. I'm excited. It's one of those fights where it's like, honestly, I feel like it should be even because you really shouldn't put the kickboxing bouts into play, just like how they are now.
Yeah.
And whether you like Izzy or not, like he's been dominant at middleweight. So,
Hmm. What did you think of that Islam versus Charles fight?
unfortunately, I didn't even get to watch it because I was gonna go watch it, and I had to do something for work, so I
Uh,
missed it. So I didn't get
oh
to
wow.
watch it. But I saw the highlights. I'm not gonna lie, I was rooting for Charles, just that
Hmm.
underdog, being deemed the underdog every time he fights, and he was running through Justin and Poirier and fucking Chandler. It's like if you somebody who beats all three of those guys in dominating fashion, like
Hmm.
it's to me it's kind of hard to root against them.
Hmm.
But I mean, Islam is Islam, and he's like Khabib 2.0 pretty much.
Hmm.
So I mean, other than I thought maybe Charles would have clipped him,
Hmm.
but like he clipped like Chandler, but I mean, and everybody else that he dropped and like then submitted them. I don't know. I figured he would like finish them via strikes, not maybe the grappling part. Because I mean that fucking Dagestani wrestling is just that's a different thing. Like
Hmm.
when they're good at it, they're good at it, and then it like makes you worried about it, and then like you don't even worry about the hands, which I think that's what happened. Like the wrestling was such a threat that he could get him with the hands because I mean. But then again, Islam has dropped a couple of people, so it's not
Hmm.
that surprising. And I mean, he's got Khabib in his corner, so
Yeah. Cheat code.
and not to mention anybody else at AKA. Like that's a good gym. Like he's with good people, so he's got a star-studded lineup supporting him the whole way. So
Hmm.
yeah, but I really wanted Charles to win. Not even just because he was like that. He was just that dog, and I liked watching him, and he was entertaining. Like
Oh yeah. So
not a lot of
entertaining.
champions finish people like often because like they don't have to. Like they don't have to.
Hmm.
They can like they can do the Floyd Mayweather thing and just win like that. I mean, they're still the champion. They still get paid. Like obviously, keeping that belt's important for finances. So,
Hmm.
however you got to win, kind of, you know.
Hmm.
But to go out there and get the finishes, even though it puts you at risk, that's just like entertaining. And as somebody who likes to fight entertaining myself, or at least I think I do, and like the crowd's reactions to most of my fights
Hmm.
say that as well. I'm one of those like I'm an advocate for put on a show for people. They come, they're paying to come watch you.
Hmm.
Like we're not like fucking clowns or anything, but like we are entertainment and in a way.
Hmm.
It's just the business we're in. So,
Yeah.
but obviously, be on your p's and q's and be entertaining. You don't gotta be doing some wild shit to be entertaining. Be on your p's and q's, stay structured, and you can still be entertaining as well.
Hmm. All right. My last question for you is, who do you look up to in your career?
Hmm. Who do I look up to? I mean, I don't really have a particular person that I look up to. Do you just mean like a fighter or like anybody like as far
It,
as
it,
I've been like doing this?
yeah. It could be anybody. Someone
Yeah,
who's
okay.
inspired you, a coach, or.
So it's a handful of people, just because it's the last couple of coaches I've had. I've been fortunate enough to have a very like great coaches like throughout my MMA and just martial arts career.
Hmm.
So obviously the first person I mentioned earlier, Mark Colecco, he's like another dad to me. I have my actual dad; he's in my life, but he's like another father figure. And that's how I look
Hmm.
at all these people that I'm about to mention. Like they're father figures, whether they're significantly older than me or not. Like I look up to them in a way. Um, he obviously is a father figure to me. He like birthed my career. He raised me into the like the fighter that I pretty much am today. He put a lot of work into me for like me giving him very little other than fighting for him and competing for him. He's like put a lot of work. Like he looks at me like he's mentioned it. He's looked at me like another one of his like kids. Like that's how close we are. And
Hmm.
like I love that man like another father. Like
Hmm.
the stuff he's done for me, the work he's put into me, and just whether it's fighting or anything, like career advice, like life advice, like he's there. If I need to call him and I need to talk to him about something, he'll talk to me. Then another person. I met on this journey Jimmy Smith. I met him in Niceville, Florida when I was in EOD school. He runs a jiu-jitsu gym out there, Blacksmith Jiu-Jitsu. Um, he really like upped my jiu-jitsu game. That like I after my time in 29 Palms in it, I said that that's like one big hole that I had at the time, and like that time I spent there in Niceville with him, he really upped my game. And like the short amount of time that I was there, he
Hmm.
really like I upgraded a lot. I slowed down, became more precise with stuff, and getting submissions. So like he really helped and like chipped away at that. It made me more controlled on the ground, which I love, and I really appreciate him for that. And just the whole like family, they like treated me like family too. So I love them for that as well. Shout out to them. And then obviously the two coaches I have now, Jimmy, or my bad, Jake and Jordan. Those guys, like, just in the little time that I've been here, I've only been training with these guys for a year, like a little over a year.
Hmm.
Yeah, a little over a year. I've been training with them for a little bit, and like, just the amount of like opportunities they've given me in this the short time. Like, I got that title fight with Epic, and
Hmm.
obviously that produced me as a champion now. And then now I'm getting this opportunity to defend my title and fight for the state title. Like, they got me these opportunities, and the little time I was with them, they had no reason when I first joined to trust anything I said. I mean, obviously there's videos and proof, and like you can like look up stuff. But they had no reason to just think immediately that I deserved any of this. They could have like took their time with it, but they whatever they saw in me, they saw and believed in me, and they like supported me and like got me these opportunities. So like I really appreciate them for that. Like the work that they put in for like our team as a whole. Like we're a smaller gym, just the work and time that like especially Jake right now, and then Jordan on the like sidelines managing all like the business aspect of it, and then Jake doing the coaching. Like he's putting his body like out there every day to get us ready for our fights, and it's like
Hmm.
he gets help from Bill and Josh and John, but most of the time it's him like prepping us, and he's got his own life and everything and his own time that he still needs to manage, and he still makes time for us. So I love him for that. Love those guys. Love all of them for that. So
Hmm.
those are the guys that like I look up to when it comes in for my martial arts training.
Hmm.
And then also two other people, but these are more idols. Bruce Lee and Muhammad Ali, just like their mentalities. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
get into that because you said you got this was the last question. I don't know if I can
Oh, no, you
waste
can
any
go
more
into
time.
it. You can go into it.
Man, you shouldn't have said that. We're about to go on here for another hour. No, but like Bruce Lee and Muhammad Ali, they just their mindsets. Like Muhammad Ali, the greatest, he willed that into existence. Talking like that, the way he spoke of himself.
Hmm.
That's like something people can learn. Like, speak highly of yourself at all times, no
Yeah.
matter what's going on. Win or lose, defeat, doesn't
Hmm.
fucking matter. Speak highly of yourself all the time. Will that goodwill into existence,
Hmm.
and like, you know, give yourself that good karma and that good positive energy. And like, just have that in your life. And then Bruce Lee, the way I look at him, he's like the father of like mixed martial arts. Honestly, like just the
Hmm.
way he like mixed his stuff together when he was doing his martial art, mixed everything together. Um, he believed like all the martial arts like they're not like all separate. Like you can like bring them together and work with them and like make them and like blend them, make your own
Hmm.
style. Like he did, he made his own style from all the stuff that he learned from boxing, wrestling, everything. He like made his own style, and that's pretty much what we do every day. Like all mixed martial artists, we like take what we learn, make our own styles. We all fight differently. Nobody fights the same.
Hmm.
Even when you're trying to emulate somebody, you're still doing it different than they are. Like they can do that stuff because that's them. You might be able to mimic it a little bit, but like put your own little flair and spin on it, make it yours.
Yeah.
Like that's what we all do pretty much. So
Hmm.
that's like the fun. You're seeing whose art. That's how I look at this. Like we're artists too. Like artists, people who paint stuff and make animation stuff. Those are artists. We're artists as well. We're creating and expressing ourselves through our bodies, through
Hmm.
our martial arts, through our disciplines, and how we do stuff. And that's like us in our true form. That's how I believe, anyways.
Yeah. It's a good way
When
to look
people
at it.
come watch me fight, like that's me. That's who I am, and I'm expressing that to you through the art of violence.
Hmm.
I know you don't like violence. I saw that post, but you know,
No, I was just trying to
it
prove a
is
point,
violence.
that it's not all about like watching someone get their head beaten. There's an art behind it. That's what I was trying to prove that point.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming on. Thank you for the good conversation.
Yeah, of course, man.
All right, I'll see you at the
Time.
Epic event.
All right. See you then.
See ya.